Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mavericks, to the High School Esports League, and I got a new caster on my side. How are you doing, TKZ?
I'm good in yourself, Tools. Thanks for allowing me on the cast with you for
No
one of my first
problem.
casts. I'm looking forward to it. I'm super excited.
Yeah, casting for the first time. I also was pretty nervous and excited, but it actually gets a bit easy every time you do it, so
Yeah,
there's
no.
nothing wrong there. But we have Parklands College versus St. Benedict's in the first semi-final of the day. This is the last day of the event, so just hold on to your seat because this might be a cracker. I mean, we got Dust 2 first map, and we got Inferno after that. What do you think about that?
Well, if you look at it from yesterday, seeing the level of CS the boys were giving us, I mean, seeing the level coming out from the lower leagues and seeing them come up and show that they actually do know stuff about the game and
Exactly.
how they're going to actually be coming up into the scene future on. You can actually see. You have the likes of God's Not Dead, you have Prawn that's sitting on St. Benedict's side. I mean, yesterday they were the big hard hitters.
They were the hard hitters, as well as, Prawn Gosnat did. And has it done, had his moments, and you can see this team was kind of the favorites coming into the tournament. I mean, they've dominated practically every game besides that double overtime they went into yesterday. But they survived it. They survived it nonetheless to the last day.
No, definitely. I mean, Parkland's coming in here. I think they're going to have to work it out. They need to give all their all, show us another level of CS in order to overcome the St. Benedict's boys, seeing as they're coming in to this tournament as the favorites. I mean, early yesterday we saw them take the likes of Hillcrest out, which has Mr. in it, and Mr. in himself is one of the best players in South Africa.
Agreed. But that does just draw into the conclusion that this is a team game, Counter-Strike. You can't really one man carry everybody. You can from time to time, but when there's just too much going against you, it can get a bit tough. But you spoke about a few Parklands players that had a few talents. You saw some of them play online. You want to mention touch on that a little?
I've seen Old New compete in the Faceit leagues lower down. He's not at the Faceit Pro League level yet, but I mean, he's still a decent aimer. Util usage is on point. His movement is also good. I've also noticed Adapt and KGN in certain games. I don't really know them that well, but I've seen them, like, from their performance yesterday. The boys have aim. Their aim is on fire. So this is definitely going to be a
well, this will be the true test. So we're going straight into the pistol round, ladies and gentlemen. St. Benedict versus Parklands on Dust 2. And you can see what side they're on. And I love the spot by KNG. He just needs to pretty much take second contact there, if anything. But no, he gets found out first. And he just has to hit the shot at this point, which he is. Picks up a lovely headshot into Hazard down. And his teammate all goes down. And he gets traded out. And that's a 2-for-1. That's not looking too good for the CT so far.
As you can see, the rotation coming in from the CT side is desperately trying to get it back into this bomb side on A side. Ferris trying to powerhouse their way onto A side, but we see Exalt with a headshot and he gets taken up by God's Not Dead. Slowly we see Adapt pushing up, coming in 1v1, and Adapt gets his head taken off by God's Not Dead.
That's a sweet headshot there. And again, you're not hitting your shots in the pistol rounds because, you can have all the smokes, all the strategies you want, but if you're not hitting those headshots...
Definitely, dude.
Stuck a result or anything but a loss. St. Benedict's picking up the first pistol round. 3 Mac-10s, that's 2. Not too sure if it lends its hand to that. Depending on the pace you work at. And God's Not Dead. Yeah, he's saving straight for that AWP. He's got the USP utility. I've seen that a few times, but will it pay off? I guess the CTs are full ecoing here, so it's possible. But this spot by Chili. Prawn's not going to kill this. Whoa! Peripheral vision, a little swing now and then. Just going to pick up some money there. And this should be a stock standard round from St. Benedict. So nice cleanup.
So look, coming from the side, they really shouldn't be feeding people in terms of their economy, because these guys are going to come out of the second round fat on economy, buying full util, full executes coming out next round. So Parkland should have actually held back, try to stack aside, stay away from the SMGs, keep it cool, maybe not feed them as much economy.
Yeah, it's tough because it's full SMG, so like who do you feed, or you just stack aside and hope you go for even trades. I'll probably just stack B and fight another round, but as you can see, they might be outmatched in terms of weaponry here. The Scout versus the AWP of the Mac-10. I do think the better weaponry is on the CT side, but the utility is in St. Benedict. So let's just see how this plays out. Lovely flash there. They can get up into ditch quite successfully. KNG, the AWP is going to post the angle. I'm not too sure if he's aware of it, but getting out those doors. But they are going to be splitting on the A side, as you can see from top. Gosnell picking up the first kill into KNG, and Exit has so much work to do. He might get one, but he's unaware. So what's happening in long, but the player and CT Spawn helps him out, bails him. But it's still a trade in St. Benedict's favor, 3 versus 2.
Yeah, we see when this is the Parklands side, they should fall off here, because I mean you have 2 players post plant sitting on the side. I mean one of the players is probably going to try and wrap short to try and get the flank in.
Exactly.
In this type of situation, coming into a bye from your third round, you don't really have much util on the CT side. So even if the St. Benedict's boys chose to go B and rush it, they couldn't really do much to stop them. And having God Not Dead on an AWP, I mean, his first shot accuracy in a round and his impact frags
are pretty high, and unusually high for, you know what I mean, for the skill level that this tournament is at. It's definitely up there. And you could just definitely see he plays a lot of online CS, the FPL circuits, the MMs if need be. Not like this. They wanted to save that gun so bad. The Soundkeys weren't there that he jumped from his teammates.
Yeah, I'm not sure what
Surely.
happened there. I think it might have been a miscommunication.
Yeah, it could be miscommunication, but that's 3 rounds on the ball from St. Benedict. So no response thus far from Parklands.
I mean,
But,
you can see it's coming out with full util. I mean, you have adapted full util for the CT side, but having all terrorists, you know, coming in and with full util, you can't really do much about it on the CT side unless you're hitting your shots. I mean, if they go and decide to do a full execute, I think Parklands are going to need to step up and start showing what they actually can bring to the table.
Agreed. But I love how this Molly's not going to spray it. Attention to detail is pretty nice. The Molly curves though, they do suspect the player being in there, but the util usage isn't correct. So they might be walking into a rat trap here, or a mouse trap, if you will. The shadow will be in his advantage. But they go quite evenly spread throughout the map. They got 2 players sitting in middle.
I mean, the position that they put KG in on the CT side is very, very nice to see. I mean, the amount of information you can get in terms of where the terrorists are going.
Exactly, and he just lets his position quite known.
Little cheeky peek going in
Cheeky peek, but that just resets the defense. There's 59 seconds on the clock, so there's nothing too worrying thus far. I like the position Adapt is actually in. It just comes down to how many people, or if they clear the corner, he can get. Mitsubishi Smoke coming out now. Not the greatest Mitsubishi Smoke is the pinpoint accuracy. This thing out, he doesn't even get one. Surely would have won more than that. And once again, this side is the hardest side to be taken. It's just, for me, it's impossible. Upgraded Deagle. Get out of there. Get out of dodge. Surround the side. Exit positions. Has a Dan.
It's just getting ripped
Not having
off
any
there.
of them. Yeah, they're all quite.
I mean, on the Parklands side, they should try at least do some sort of damage to the terrorist economy. I mean, they're only on armor bars.
Yeah, I mean, let's have a look at the economy quickly. They will be able to buy fully. But perhaps they need to bring Aben off to contest with God's Not Dead. He's just having a field day of it right now.
6-0, this man's on fire today.
Exactly, he's got a 6-0. It's not even a KD.
Man.
You needed that once to have a proper KD.
Literally sitting with a 6 KD on the 5th round. I mean,
Infinite.
what else can you ask from him?
I don't know, carrying on. But we do see an almost stop coming out from St. Benedict. Just 2 towards B, 2 towards middle. And 1 holding the cross and spawn. Look at this upper B push, and they read it quite perfectly here. Trades do nonetheless. I mean, they win the fight and tunnels win the fight top, so that's in their favor. 3 people on the defensive side, and Parklands are gonna have to make some interesting decisions here. Where do they aggress? Where do they hold? Where do they make weak? Where do they make strong? This game is all about that.
Is getting bombarded onto the A side. We have KGN sitting on the B side desperately. We have the rotation. Surely. We
Wow,
see
he gets a
KGN.
3K. KGN. God's Not Dead. He's having none of that. He's in 7-0 right now, getting the bomb down. It's down to a 1v1, and Adapt has all the work in his hands. 1 versus 1. He needs to clutch this out. They're 4-0 right now. He has no kit, but there's one on site, so I'm pretty sure that's been called out. Does God's Not Dead read this? He's positioned himself quite well. His awareness is quite there, and he's being read like a bot.
Oh, and he gets legged, but the DAP takes the 1v1, and he's got the defuse with no kit nonetheless. But I mean, seeing a performance like that, God's Not Dead, knowing that he must move across, not knowing where the player's coming from, holding the short angle, keeping his cover.
Yeah,
It's good to
tough.
see. It's good to see, but
It's
a
tough
DAP
in
coming
those-
on top.
Agreed, and it's tough in those clutch situations, right, where you get the bomb down, but you have no clue as to where the CT could be, no clue where the defensive player is coming from, and in my sort of perspective, you want to just narrow the amount of angles you're exposed to, or can be exposed to.
Exactly.
So you could see why he moved away from Graffiti into that box there just to cut himself off from Cat or the CT ramp, but it didn't pay off. Ooh, God's Not Dead getting a lovely tag there, starting off the round on a good note.
I mean, you can see the stock standard default coming out here. I mean, a lot of respect coming from the St. Benedict's boys. I mean, showing their performance yesterday. The St. Benedict's boys kind of taking a passive approach to this. You can see the CT size not really, also they're taking a kind of controlled approach. They're not looking too aggressive. They're not trying to find the information, which is kind of detrimental to their gameplay, seeing as they're having the frags, they're getting the picks on the T side.
Good flash to push off adapt in the middle, but I do completely agree with that. And Braun is going to overextend guys down his one-on-one duel, and he wins it perfectly down. You want those 1v1s. And as well as that, they supplement that with the kill on catch. The Molly is slowing them down. And old new, oh, he's just stuck between.
Rock in a hard place here on B sides as we see
exactly,
that.
And they're moving in quite hot on his heels.
He gets one kill. Gets traded out by Jin, unfortunately, and here we have the CT's trying to rotate through CT side. We have God's Not Dead, and we have the GOAT sitting here. I mean, if they play this right, the GOAT takes contact, first player down. Here we have him see a pick Orpa, and he gets traded KJ, and God's Not Dead coming to the table once more.
Yeah, yes, and Parklands are putting in a better show than Hudson Park yesterday. It does look a bit more competitive. They are getting it down to those clutch situations. They are doing damage to the economy of St. Benedict. So all they need to do is just string some rounds together, perhaps two to break the economy and just get the ball rolling on their side.
100%. I mean, if you see how this game's going in terms of St. Benedict's favour at the moment, the CTs need to focus on keeping the economy clean, keeping the bars consistent, making sure they're getting the full util bar so they can actually get a stop and start getting their claws back into this game.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, being a full reset there, they were reduced to a deco bar, armor, upgraded pistols. And yeah, I don't mind them going for these peaks. Kenji needs to get into this game. You didn't mention him earlier being one of the star players in Hudson Park, and it's time for that to show. I like this play. Just how many he gets out of this? They're all blind, and he blinds himself. He does get the Orpa back. And he gets a second, and Chili Chunks with the kill of his own 2v5 at the moment. And they got everything in their favor. They got the man, and they got the utility, and they got their guns, and Hazard Dan is just slowing the progression down. He's picked up 2 kills of his own, slowed the game down quite a lot, but the bomb is in quite a peculiar place. I don't know how he's going to work this out. It's going to be quite tough for him. He's being surrounded right now, playing cats, and he gets taken up, exit, and lovely round. That's what they needed.
A lot of good work from the Parkland boys coming out. I mean, they saw that they were struggling with their economy. KGN making the flash play through the smoke, picking up 2 players. I mean, you need those type of plays when you're this far down, and it's good to see players coming to the table, starting to do this type of things. The flash plays, baiting and switching. Good to see.
Agreed. And I mentioned earlier, they need one more round, right, to break the economy of St. Benedict. So if they can keep that up, keep the bait and switch, keep working as a team, keep making those trades go in their favor, it could work out. Early smoke, but they definitely wanted to have quite an access point through that.
They're making a little bit of a touchdown on God's Not Dead. Not too much of damage, but I mean, every single HP counts in this game. As you can see, they're starting to set up a generic B-side take. You can see that the Parklands boys aren't really aware of what's happening on the T-side because they're not pushing for that information. They need to be looking. They need to be trying to find out what you see. And
agreed, but what they do have is a 3-man lean towards that B-side. And this is going to work out for them if Adapt can just get one more kill, gets a second, in fact, but the team he rotates in. And that's exactly what they wanted. The lean towards that B-side. 3 men is always going to be in your favor. B-side is the hardest side to retake, so I don't mind that at all. And, Hazard Dan is trying to do his part to get back into this round, but KNG is going to
touch him down
take
hard.
him out. 15 HP, and I do think this is a round for Parklands.
This was a very crucial round for Parklands side. I mean, as we stated at the beginning of this round, they're going to be able to get at least 2 or 3 more rounds off of this if they play it correctly, if they don't feed into that quasi or pistol bar coming in from the St. Benedict's boys in the next round.
Agreed. And he does have the bomb in his hands. He's just waiting for a few CTs to overexpend, but they're not going to.
Good discipline.
Good discipline. And I think the best chance he has is going mid to B, but because there's no one really watching it from CT spawn, and the B player is super focused on that upper B tunnel. But he's in quite a nice spot here.
Yeah, he's covered from the B doors and the B window push. So, I mean, he's in a favorable position here, but will he hear the terrorists pushing onto B site?
Yeah, but he's walking in. Maybe his pip will be showing, but no, he's super dead. I actually like the position from it. He's going to close out the round nice and easy for him, and that's another round on the board. That's what they wanted. I'm pretty sure it's an eco now on St. Benedict. They have nothing to work with. They can potentially just get a few bits and pieces of utility and work with that.
150 to work with. Oh, maybe a scout coming out.
Oh, but the Sova.
No scout coming out from the terrorist side. It's a sword.
Yeah, sort of.
Going in hot here.
Interesting buy, probably a missed buy, I'm not too sure.
I mean, you see the double op setup coming out from the CT side. Now, this makes it very hard for the terrorist side to be able to actually get into sides. As you can see here on the B side, we have Old New and Adapt going in hard. Old New in the 1v1 situation on B side. He gets taken out by Snow. Then we see the trade coming in from Exalt. Good rotations all around.
Good rotations, good damage from the terrorists. I mean, essentially what they wanted was a bomb plant, but I think they did enough getting 2 kills there, just making sure the economy doesn't really get out of hand for Parklands College. And that's 1 round apart, and that's a 4-5. Good comeback for them. Get strong runs together.
Showing a strong CT side. They're very conservative when it comes to their util usage on the CT side, and I think that's sort of imperative in terms of saving the economy. Here we see a pickup coming up from Chile, getting the early round pick and falling off. It's so good to see players falling off of an angle as soon as they get a pick.
It is indeed, and Chile's doing the right thing, but the utility came in. I wish we would have boosted something. Times the shot here. They're not playing graffiti, helping him out. Kenji is doing the Lord's work right now, and yeah, boosting from the wrong angle. It's not going to really work out, as you can see there. Falls to that mission. Oh, they're going to push through a smoke. It is a 3v3, and the Bombers
No one's watching Ram.
making a 3v3. No one's watching Ram, but stop anything. Watch by Braun. He doesn't manage to get the kill there, but Exec does trade it out. God's not dead. Tried his best, but has it down. Is the only one left alive. He does have 2 opponents in front of him. He's trying his best, but Chile puts an end to his life. Puts a nail in his coffin, and that's the 5th round. That's deuces. That's a draw.
It's going to literally, the T side is starting to get read by these boys, and I mean, they're really doing well. They're starting to pick up. Okay, now I need to start looking for information. When they start getting those key information pickups in the early rounds, they're just rotating and stacking sites wherever the terrorists are going.
And that's what you need to be doing. You need to be, one, reading the game well, and two, making sure your rotations are on point, and, you know, now and then make sure you're retaining as much information as possible. Being proactive, essentially, around the map.
100% agree. I mean, you see the quasi-buy coming out from the terror side. A scout, which does a lot of work on a map if you use it correctly. Mac 10 to build that economy so you can maybe get more util, so you can start doing some execution, start getting it done. And then we have the hazard there. Picking up the pick from Shorts, KGN.
Yeah, so the problem when you try to read the game too much, you don't read the actual round. They should know it's a kind of an eco round, so playing a bit more passive or conservative must be the better choice there. At least Chile boys, Chile man is, I'm about to say he's going to survive, but you know, he's first and fifth. God's not dead. Isn't really going to miss those shots. He needs to be able to get the second before his teammates coming in. Cat gets deleted by Old New. Man, he definitely would have wanted that kill. Back down to a 3v3. What they do have is in their favor is a Mac 10 with the armor and a Deagle with armor. God's not dead is doing
Tons of work.
With the scout.
Tons of work with the scout.
They need to work together. This long top player there. That's the bomb, and
just falling around the side. I mean,
but
yes.
But Prawn, I mean, if he gets the second kill, it's on. But no, that with that org, put him down.
Parkland is just showing absolute resilience against this T-side. I mean, showing such heart and such dedication to the game. Maybe they went home and watched a few demos.
Perhaps indeed. And I mean, at this level, at this stage, all it takes is a few individual brilliance and then a bit of teamwork here and there just to get yourself over the line.
I mean, the star players that we mentioned at the start of the game, I mean, Prawn not really hitting.
There we go. God's not dead. Lovely time shot into long, even through the wall, through the end of the wall, actually.
I mean, as I was saying, I mean, Prawn, he's not hitting the high numbers like he was yesterday, but the man's getting impact frags. I mean, he's doing his rounds. He's working. But another thing that we can see here going out is that they're going to probably split onto A sides. We have the short push. We have the boys lower tunnel start making their way up onto mid.
Exactly. Oh, I mean, they're going to do the mid to B smoke, but there's still a smoke in the middle. I'm not too sure what the decision is. They're going to go through it with their own flashbang. Good flashbang. The trade's in their favor. There's one more player left on the B site, and he's got so much on his hands right now. I love this spot, but I'm not going to clear it. Last one, he did catch from here, and they are Prawn. Wiser to it, very aware, good heads up play on him. It's down to a 4v2, and they should save it. That is the right call to make, looking at the economy.
100% agree. I mean, if these two players save, seeing as the economy is quite decent, they can buy for the means of Exalt, who's a bit suffering, and Adapt if he wants to pick up a double op setup, for instance.
Agreed. They can get it up next round on the CT side if they really want to, an Old New and Chile, so that is a viable option, and these two players staying alive should be able to drop off some weapons. Even if they do get reset, they'll kind of have a quasi-buy going into the 14th round, but that 6-all, I think Benedict's able to bounce back from that 5-round loss deficit. I mean, They needed to stop the bleed. They needed to stop the momentum from Parklands College. And they have done so.
And it's good for them. I mean, Old New getting up the later pick on Hazardan, who was a bit cheeky trying to cross over. I mean, if he just stood there, he would have been fine.
Yeah, yeah, agreed,
But
definitely.
continuing what I was going to be speaking about, I mean, they really needed that round on the St. Benedict side because their economy was struggling. I mean,
It was, and it's good to see that they have recovered quite nicely. Chile picking up that off once again. He has been quite a pivotal player for him, getting those openers, because that's what you kind of want at the CT side, just to make it a lot easier than the rest of the boys.
100% agreed. I mean, they're putting the generic A long take into play. We have a player towards B side, probably going to stop off the rotations coming in, and he gets absolutely deleted by KG, and he's sitting on short watching that.
When that's the split push being taken out, that becomes a one-dimensional attack, and I'm sure the information has come out. They are moving straight into that A site, and Kenji needs to get into a better spot and needs to just sit here and wait for his teammates to just take a bit of contact, take pressure off, and take first contact at the very least. So I love the boost, I love the idea, but they have spotted it out essentially, and they've dropped off it, like you've seen Kenji picking up a player there on the sides, and God's not dead. A pretty easy kill for him. And
goat, that shot was ridiculous.
Ridiculous indeed, and all news putting in the work. It's down to a 2v2, down to a 1v1 prawn coming in from long. The bomb isn't down yet, so he needs to get to it. Lovely shot. That AUG, that scope is always going to come in your favor in those long-range duels.
Adapt coming in for his team, doing his rounds, as you see him in that round out. A crucial round, in fact, for Parklands as they reset the terror side again in terms of their economy. They're going to be able to get out of bye one more time. But after this, if they lose this round, they're going to be on the brink again.
Yeah, I mean, it's the last round next round, so if they do lose this, they definitely want the bomb down or save that AWP. You can just see Jin has got little to no utility on him, so perhaps putting him the point man is ideal, perhaps making him run first is ideal, as he has the he can create some space for the rest of St. Benedict. But God's not dead, just being nice, patient and long, holding the angles for the rifles to clear the left and right. But there we go, they are using him as the point man, but he's all alone in no man's land. He's going to retreat back. I like that call, I like that decision. You don't want to be caught on your ace, as I would say. And Hazard down, picking up a player in middle. And last round, they lost that mid duel. The lurker went down pretty early, and it's not what you want from the lurker. He needs to stay alive until last man. He needs to kind of finish off the round with information. Just help them make an accurate decision that simultaneously they all keep a side all new, getting taken out by Goats. And that's a double kill by Goats. He did get a kill for his efforts, but again, Adapt, all on his ace, all by himself. He has to save for the next round. No money for them, in fact.
I mean, a nice thing to note, and something that I've noticed, is they're utilizing God's Not Dead by always sending him to that long side. They're putting him on those long angles. They're making the CTs really, really scared to push that long doors and take that long control away from terrorists. And when you can't take that long control, you're going to suffer, because the terrorists can go anywhere on this map.
Agreed, and it's very important to use, I mean, the scope guns at long angles, such as, middle and a long. So he's doing his job quite well. And the rest of the team is chiming in. But the score will be 7-7.
Spots the player on short. Will he actually get this?
Get the pip, get the pip. It's the second kill. I'd get the AK, to be honest.
Love to see it, love to see it.
Oh, but they have nothing but brown money and change in their pockets to buy up Parklands College. They only have that AUG that they saved up, and they need to fully buy. They don't understand it is the last round. Adapt. I'm not too sure why he didn't get a kit or a Molotov. He could have expended all his income, all the money accumulated from that one round loss bonus. But they want to go for an upper B push, but that smoke is... It's quite nice to see some due diligence, some early run protocol just to negate that a little. They're going to move towards middle. They're probably going to clear out top, clear out middle, and probably proceed to a split. But I think like a longer Hazardan is an opposite end right now from Exart. But at the middle position, you are Jinx taking out Exart. That's not good. That's not good at all. And there we go. Hazardan working off that information, working off the sound speed of his B player. Adapt gets the first, and he needs to be able to hold strong. There are two more players in the side, and this grenade should take him out. Lovely underarm, and Chili's going to go for the knife.
No, it was so close, but so
good attempt.
far, man. But
Good attempt.
I really enjoyed the Pokeball coming out from God's Not Dead on that B side. I mean, what can you do there? You're just kind of stuck in a corner, hugging the wall for your life. But it was good to see. I mean, God's Not Dead taking those early rounds with the AWP, trying to scope down middle. Then he noticed that they're going with the smokes, and then they pushed him onto the long, which started stringing them rounds together because Parklands didn't really know what to do from the change and the adaptation that St. Benedict's brought to the table.
Indeed. Indeed. And this is as close to the scores can get. 8-7-second pistol round is underway, and they're going for a straight to Suka Blade, a straight B rush. Mono on mono, they have to hit their shots. The CT players. Hazard Dan is playing by the door, bobbing back and forth. Braun aiding and assisting with that kill. Exot takes out Hazard Dan, and he's still alive on the side. And once again, I didn't mention this B side is hard to retake, but there's no utility to lock out these players, and a lovely kill there. God's Not Dead. It's exactly what you need to be doing if no one's watching the door. They give you access, take it. Jen coming into the kill of his own, and that's a
it's falling
blunder.
Apart.
It's a huge blunder for Parklands.
I mean, they had the plant, they had the round in the bag. They were already going to post plants without the bomb being down, no one watching doors, and then St. Benedict's just taking full advantage of that round and just bringing it back in their favor.
I agree with that completely, and the important part is if you're going to plant the bomb on that spot, you got to look down, so the headshot isn't that easy because 100%. He was looking at the door. He's probably watching his killer, which is the worst.
Yeah,
you really can't watch your killer.
You need to show your bum towards that door in order to
agreed, and look down.
Save
look
it,
down. But they reduced to a full Glock round. They did get the bomb down last round. Actually, they didn't. So I do understand the full save. Actually, I would have opted for them to just fully get one flash. That's all you need to get into the bomb site there. Is
please get that distance going, but
exactly. I mean, no armor with Glocks going on. Cat did their best. They got a kill, got some dings here and there, but it's not going to be enough.
The goat mowing the lawn on a side.
The goat mowing the lawn.
That's why that box is called Gandalf. I mean, you shall not pass. I mean,
you shall not pass. It's one of the best spots. I don't even know why it's named Gandalf. I need to get some background context into that. But anyway, 10 rounds in the ball for St. Benedict's. They are, I wouldn't say firmly in the lead, 3 rounds apart. And Chile, what? Just shooting a guy through the middle. Regardless of the smoke they put down. That's insane, and that's the power of the all guts there. One-shot headshot in situations like that. That's why I always cross, no matter what. Put a smoke down, I'm still going to jump, so it's not that easy to die.
100% agree. I mean, the smoke coming out, but you see Adapt just saying no. He doesn't care about smokes.
Oh, God's Not Dead. Even the score out, and that's exactly how you want to jump into this with the AWP. One holding long, one holding top.
I mean, it's... when you have God's Not Dead on an AWP, I mean, peeking any angle is scary. The man, his hit ratio is ridiculous with this AWP. I mean, I've seen him miss 2 shots in this game alone.
Yeah.
So when you have an AWP that's impacting like that, especially on the CT side, it makes it extremely hard for terrorists to get in, for your entries to go in and start getting those early picks that you need.
Exactly, but Goats, are they aware of his angle here? He's going to get a free kill. No!
Oh, no.
He assumes that kill would come as early as possible, and that gun will betray you, that and now it's just one man holding that B side from Hazard, and he's gonna, wow, they're going to play the numbers. If he gets the second kill, then that's beautiful. That's the perfect way to play it. Despite that, and it comes to God's Not Dead, and mentioned earlier, he doesn't miss these kills, and he's going to get that. Potentially he wants to pick up a rifle. The call has been made that he's on low HP, the last player. And that Molotov, very interesting. It is sprayed towards the door, and that's going to give away the position from Exit. He's going to throw a flash, and he's going to peek with it. This is going to be a very easy round from him, and he doesn't miss those. He's experienced. He's a star player.
Another round for the St. Benny's boys.
Not only that, I mean, God's Not Dead, sitting at 22 kills. He's clearly taking control of this game.
I mean, seeing the amount of hours that he puts in the game, being a person that plays against the guy, he really does do his rounds, and he does put in the effort. So it's showing here in terms of this competition.
Agreed. And they've increased the lead to 4. As you can see, both of them a bit shy in bits and pieces of utility. Long molly last early round protocol just to negate the long push. Majority of the attacking team is moving along Cat, and I mean they're causing a lot of sound cues. The player along will be able to actually inform the A-side holders that it's possible for a Cat push, Cat breach, a contact play on Cat. And Hazard Dan is just patiently playing middle. Kenji going for a little jiggle peek there, baiting out the shot, but takes some damage for his efforts, down to 31. Makes him a bit squishy for the A1s and the Orcs to finish him off if need be.
I mean, if you see this is a very crucial round for the Parklands boys. I mean, they're going to be sitting on no money next round if they drop this round to the St. Benedict's boys. And I mean, you have the likes of God's Not Dead just absolutely locking down A site with your crossfire coming in from long side. T-side not really knowing where to go. They have the CT side's not giving them any information, and that's what they need to do. They have a 4-round advantage. They don't need to be aggressive.
Exactly. When that happens, all you're doing is you funnel them into where you want them. You giving them no information to work with. So they're basically, it's a guesstimation as to where they want to go. A guesstimation where the numbers are. And he has the Dan, he needs to rotate in time. Corn taking down the upper B players one by one. I told you that scope org does come into play, but no ways. Has it done? He had one job to do, is just get one kill, just help them out, bail them out from a situation like this. There's the flash and molly for St. Benedict to work with on God's Not Dead. God just needs to wait for the rotations to come in. They are going to molly default, they're going to push him to the side. They're all new and exit coming to the party, but God's Not Dead. Tuck his tail between his legs and get out of there. There's no way he clutches a 1v3 in a situation like this without crazy mistakes made by Parklands High.
All they need to do, and they're doing it absolutely beautifully. They're not showing their faces. They're not peeking this man because they know that this guy's hitting all of his shots. I mean, even when they throw a shoulder around the corner, he's pegging you and he's tagging you down to that 35 HP. Running around at 35 HP, that's literally a sneeze and you're gone.
Agreed. And, I mean, Bianca did his job. You got 2 kills, and you only need his rotation to just be a little bit faster and perhaps get 1 kill. But nonetheless, that is 8 rounds on the board for Parklands College. They're going to have a full bye, but on St. Benedict's side, nothing to work with.
Struggling a little bit on the St. Benny's boys side.
Yeah, the brown money, 10-cent coins, 50-cent coins, and that's about it. God's Not Dead does have an AWP, and he's going to look to put himself in a really good position to pick up these kills, and the long push comes to fruition. And they're losing so many numbers for the efforts. Not enough flashes have gone along to aid them out, we think. He's going to run in. I thought he picked himself up an AK. He definitely wants to pick himself up an AK. No, see, he jacks it from him. Gets to play with high HP, which is a smart choice.
I mean, you can see the Parklands boys absolutely falling off of this.
Because they have long. St. Benedict's, they need to be aware of this. They need to realize this. I mean, God's Not Dead. He's pushing into the wrong zone. He's going to T-spawn first. The bomb will go down. He does have a kit, so there's still time. There's still a smoke.
Look, I think the rotation decision coming from God's Not Dead is just to dwindle down the economy, try and make some damage when they try and exit out of long, instead of trying to stop the plant completely. Maybe getting a lucky headshot from the T side coming in, taking him out on the CT angle. But I feel like they're actually going for the retake.
Yeah, I was about to say they have to go for the retake. Yeah, they have the numbers. They're waiting for God's Not Dead. Perfect flash and mollying towards Gandalf. They do have a it's hard. The cat player is going to come into play very, very soon, and that molly's a GG molly.
During it.
That's a GG molly, I was about to say.
Nothing you can do when the barbecue's burning on the bomb.
Yeah, and when the barbecue is burning, all you can do is eat, and Parklands pick up another round, and they looking for more. They're quite hungry right now.
It's good to see. I mean, they know now. They know that St. Benedict's is definitely on a reset. They're on a quasi-bar. They should honestly take their time on this round, feel out the round, and clear all their angles, make sure they're trading effectively, and they should have this round in the bag.
Yeah, and you know, that's just such a scrimmy map that there's so many possibilities, so many options for both teams to explore in terms of not looking for information, but creating space and taking space. And you can see there's a stack towards the upper B side, and the only person on this A-bomb side is God's Not Dead with the scouts. He's going to try better at an AWP shot and just suspend them a little from taking further map control. They are trotting forward, they are barreling up long. The smoke for the cross has lined up, but there's a gap, and KNG gets taken down. There was no flashes, and there's another gap, a small gap, and they're just going to keep exploiting it.
Ooh, the flashbang comes in onto CT side, blinding God's Not Dead and his fellow teammates. We can see that the terror side is slowly trying to set up post-spawn, but they don't have anyone long side, so I mean...
Yeah, and then you can see by the mini-map, they're getting wrapped around long, the scouts going long, so they have. I think if they wait for that, things will be looking good. They will do some damage. Winning the round is a bit too much to ask, but damage is something that's definitely on the table, definitely on the cards.
See God's Not Dead taking out the AWP that was holding the angle, which it just comes down to a timing thing. I mean, he switched to the cat guy, trying to help his teammates out on site. God's Not Dead just ripping his face off of his body.
Yeah, I mean they could just wait for the bomber to explode, and he can pick himself up an AWP. In fact, he gets out of dodge. Free gun for the next round. That's what, easy 5-7 in the pocket.
It's a good pickup. I mean, now he can drop for his teammates. I mean, they can possibly get full util across the board here.
They actually will get full util. They have so much money, and Prawn was only player little to no money. They got that they should be able to drop them, and they should be dandy and grandy.
See, in this type of situation, I understand that they want to keep Goz Not Dead on a good economy so you can keep that AWP up, but getting your Prawn on full util on that B site is actually imperative in terms of if the T's decide to go and rush it, which it looks like they're going to be doing on a B side execute.
Yeah, they got the AWP taking point shit just to clear the angles for them. Maybe the rifle still walk and get early round util usage there just to make sure they're not rushing.
I see they actually swapped out Prawn for Hazardan, who had more util, which is a good call on St. Benedict's side, actually halting the fast push from Parklands.
Indeed, and you can just see how patient and detailed they are, but they're approaching to the B side. They will be getting free access. Prawn picking up that first kill there. And he's been doing this quite a while there with that AUG, and it's just going to be very easy for him. But Hazardan overextends for some odd reason. The bomb is down, so the rotation should be called, but the lurk in middle, I think that's the key point for them to actually get back into the round. But he gets stuck between a rock and fire.
We can just see St. Benedict just absolutely digging their claws in here. I mean, dropping the bomb that far into the tunnels on the side is a bit of an oopsie from the Parklands boys.
Big oopsie. If they're not going to fully commit as 4, perhaps the bomb shouldn't be taking point in a play like that. But I saw the idea in the whole play. I saw the concept and I understand it. And I appreciate it. But, you know, the lack of execution just came in a bit there.
100%
Just
agree.
need to refine that a little bit, and that'll be good. And I do agree with the save because Parkland's economy could be in the bin soon.
Worse for wear on the Parklands side. I mean, when you're going towards the B sites, especially when it's being held by 2 players, you kind of need to take the body bag approach where you're just sending your players in, your entries are going in, taking all of the brunt of the force, and you as a support player coming in, getting your trades in, and that's essentially how you get the B bomb sites, is just committing your bodies to that site. Making sure boys aren't stopping in tons, making and blocking their players behind them, making sure that they're going and pushing and making space for their team to get into the bomb site.
Yeah, but they're still in high school, so I understand the commitment issues.
100%.
10-12 on the board. St. Benedict still have a 2-round lead, but, you know, we have seen Parklands bounce back, claw the way back, and I do understand the full buy coming out of them. As both economies are up in the air at the moment. 6K and God's not dead, so he can keep buying and understand that they keep his economy afloat, but the rest of them... Oh, okay, right. Keep his economy afloat. Keep the shots going. Hazardan even picking up a kill there. He pushed middle. He's sitting in suicide at the moment, and he's being a thorn in their side, but all new. Takes him out, and perhaps too aggressive there. He got the kill, but two for 1 trade. Always in the favor of St. Benedict thus far.
But, I mean, you can see an interesting statistic that I noticed now. God's not dead on the AWP majority of the game. He's still sitting on a 45% headshot rating with an AWP. I mean, come on. What else can you expect from a boy?
He's hitting all his shots, so,
He's coming in
keep giving
strong.
them all, keep his economy strong, and he's the playmaker. You got to keep like that. This nade is money.
Touchdown, almost
If
taking
he just
out
sprays
Old
now, please spray now. If he'll get 3 kills. They took out the rotator, so he's in a rock and he's in a tough situation right now. He's sailing in a bolt of holes at the moment, and he's hanging on, and he's plugging all those holes with bullets. Prawn. See why it's
fully
such
blind,
a good,
taking out Old New.
Exactly, it's such a good performance yesterday, and you can see he's carrying on with that, and it's good to see.
What a good demonstration of decision making. He knew that his rotation player got killed. He took his time. He hit from the T side. He didn't give them the early picks, and that made them dwindle. I mean, when they were pushing into side, they literally, only one player was making note of Prawn. The other players looking towards mid doors, towards window, and then Prawn just took full advantage of it. I mean, well played by the man.
Well played as well, and I'm pretty sure Parklands do appreciate good Counter-Strike, appreciate that good hold. They did all they can, but it didn't pay off, and they reduced to pistol once more. And God's not isn't missing those any time over the week.
Super nade coming in as well.
I don't even think he missed that shot. That was just what? Okay, he definitely missed that shot, but due to weird movement, gets the second shot nonetheless. Deleted by Exit, but has it down there. Clean up on Owl. 3.
Very clean round from St. Benedict's, only dropping God's Not Dead. But I mean, doing work, getting 2 kills with the AWP, taking down 3 players to almost half HP with a nade. I mean, the man's literally holding A side alone, essentially.
He hasn't been doing that all day.
Ridiculous performance. I mean, 26 for 10. I mean, guys almost 30 bombing in a LAN event. I mean, what else can you expect from a boy, especially at this level? Like
40 bomb, that's what we expect if that's the case. But
love to see
Longstake
it.
is coming out now contesting. Happen all new, just crouches with that AUG. spray control wasn't easy, so big ups on him getting those 2 kills, and it's down to a 2v4 at the moment. Long is being taken right now. They're moving into the side. Decent nade and good damage, and he puts it down to a 4v3. Bombs down in the crazy place, and the CT spawn drop doesn't work out. Pawn is there. That's wild.
You can see this in a 1v2 situation, unless Aldrin pulls something out of the bag, and he does. He takes down Hazardan in a 1v1 situation, but he's up against Prawn, full util on Prawn's side. He's moving towards the long. He knows that he has an AWP, so he's going to take the longer angles. But with the SG, you can actually challenge the AWP.
Yeah, you can challenge the AWP, but he's trying to find out where the CT player is. He's playing the man and objective right now. Let's see if that pays off. Prawn picking up that AUG, and that's something really needed to do for that AWP, and it comes to fruition. That's what you want. 15 rounds on the board for St. Benedict, and they're on match point at the moment, and they're looking to take this map and move into the second. Parklands High don't have much utility or money to work with double scouts, and
just Glocks, or
if they pray hard enough, if they wish hard enough, they can probably get this kill in the middle. They've got 3 people posting the door right now. They did damage, but it's not enough. It's an AWP, so Prawn's just going to put himself in a decent position at B, and it's going to be quite easy for them. But we have seen them lose rounds like these.
That's what's nice about having an AWP in your hands. I mean, you can be on 1 HP and still peak angles, still have that confidence, because it doesn't really matter.
Agreed, and KNG runs out middle. KG and not KNG. KNG's from Brazil, but at least the trade is there by Hazardan, and God's not dead. He's peeking it down from the A side. The bomb's in the craziest spot ever. I don't know how they're going to cover a situation like this. They can just keep flashing, keep taking these duels as a team. They should be able to clutch out this round, but Hazardan overextends a little, and Chili with that scout just takes him out quite easily. He's stuck in smoke, but Jin.
And they close down the round with Prawn getting the kill onto Jin.
And that's round 16, and you could just see they had the firm lead throughout the game, and Parkland did bounce back. They did put in 11-11, but they kind of ran out of steam towards the end there. They weren't as tight-knit, they weren't as well-versed as St. Benedict. But God's not there. What a performance by him on this map.
I mean, no matter what they did on A side, they sent 4 players to A side. God's not dead, just absolutely mowing them down. Yeah. I mean, what can you do when that type of thing happens? I mean, go B sides, okay, cool. Now you have to deal with Prawn and Hazardan. I mean, the crossfires they were setting up on B side, it was beautiful to see.
Exactly, and not only that, they had the good reads mid-round. They had the right rotations. From time to time, there's a blooper now and then, but they were able to, bounce back. They were able to remedy that from time to time in terms of the rounds, and the economy started building up. And once again, God's not dead, hitting all their shots. And Hazardan, he played quite a nice role in terms of making sure the trades were in their favor most of the times, holding the bombers down in the craziest spot too many times. So Parklands need to address that. They need to assess that. They need to just somehow just communicate with the team like, hey guys, the bomb shouldn't be taking contact first. The bomb shouldn't be in a position like that, like in middle, like in long, like in by CT spawn. It's just absolutely
just puts you into such a situation where you kind of know that the CTs are making their way over there. They're bringing all their boys over to the site, and you're going to just have a bad time.
Yeah, you're always going to have a bad time. But guys, we're going to just head to a little break before we jump into the second map, so do stay tuned.
It is a culmination of a year-long league. These are the best of the best our country has to give.
Nice big stun coming in from Zazawi, but that is it. Only one, and that is it. I don't think there's more. And you're grand champions.
Look at the glee. Look at the joy. He's finally broken the curse. The shouts of true victory.
It's mine.
It's mine. It's mine.
It's mine.
It's mine.
It's mine.
It's mine.
It's mine.
name's Dale McBurney. I'm Harley Quinn. I love Margot Robbie, hence why I kind of did it. And she's a bad mother effer. Can I swear? No, not really.
So my name is Brendan Jackson, also known as Jax Cosplay in the cosplay community. So this cosplay I've been working on for approximately over a year, with about 160 to 170 hours worth of work put into it.
My name is Gordon Hines and I am hosting the VS Gaming stage here, which I'm really excited about. There's CSGO, there's Dota, there's huge amounts of prize money. It's an extreme honor to help facilitate esports in this way. And I'm really excited about it. So money into esports and into gaming is a really big deal, and that's why when Telkom got involved with this project, it really means a lot. It helps an audience that primarily uses the internet and uses that space to perform and play games, gives them the tools and the assets to do that, and provides them with the income to do that full time and remain competitive at a longer stage. So it's really important that Telkom's involved. Look, I'm all for underdogs, and White Rabbit Gaming claim to be the biggest underdog, so I support the underdogs. No, so thank you. Don't tell anyone I'm supporting Japan in this World Cup. So.
You're at the Telkom stand at Comic Con 2019. Basically, what we have on show is the new Xbox One S Digital. What that basically means is that you don't ever have to buy a physical copy of a game ever again. With the 20 meg line that the package comes with, you're able to download 3 free games that we give you, and that's your future. Is that in the future now, you just download games directly to your system. It's got a 1 terabyte hard drive on it, so now you don't even have to wait or go out your house to be able to get the latest new titles, which is a really, really nifty feature. If you don't like that and you want to go with something a bit slower, which is the 10 meg line, what you get is the lit box that comes with it, and that allows you to stream your Netflix, YouTube, DSTV Catch-Up and Showmax. So it literally turns any TV into a smart TV. So those are some of the things we've got on the go. Obviously in Hall 3, it's the Masters currently going for CSGO and Dota. So as far as Telkom is concerned, we've got something on the retail side for people who are seeing what's happening on that side and want to join in. We've got the technology for them to be able to do that. And then of course, just crowning the best of the best as far as those 2 titles are concerned.
Okay, cool guys, here at Comic Con 2019. Huge upgrade from last year. Here obviously for the VS Gaming tournaments that are going on. VS Gaming's been a great platform for gamers, new and old alike, to come and show their medals, show what they got. It's been such a great platform for us to play throughout the year, come together, show the different guys what we got and how we perform, and then the setup here this year is a massive upgrade.
Well, I think comics drive imagination. So in driving imagination, it allows parents to engage closer with their kids. So I definitely think it's a conversation to encourage, and it's definitely an expansion into exploring life with your kids and having fun and being creative.
Hey guys, I'm Goku. This is Raphael. My name's Graham. This is Leo. I think it's super important that dads encourage their kids to enjoy a day like this. I think it's super important. A lot of my heroes are comic book heroes, and they don't really exist in real life, and this is my one day that I get to celebrate them along with my kids, and they celebrate it with me. So it's a symbiotic relationship, and it's super cool. And you know what, it's such a safe space to do it in, and people enjoy it. And one of my bucket list places to go is Comic-Con New York. So one day hopefully I'll get to go there, but I'm so glad it came here to SA. Thank you, SA. It's the best day of the year. Well, 4 days of the year. I've got a weekend pass, so it feels like one long ass day.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're jumping straight into the second map. St. Benedict's first, Parklands College. And we just seen St. Benedict's take the first map. I wouldn't say quite easily. There was a few blunders and bloopers, but they recovered quite well, and they took the map. I wouldn't say convincingly, like I mentioned earlier. It was a tough game. God's not dead, picking up a lot of kills over the AWP. He hasn't missed. Doesn't miss.
Doesn't miss a shot. I mean, Mirage, one of the longest standing, non-changed maps in the competitive scene.
Yeah. I really hope they do change the map or rotate it out and bring in like a Tuscan or Cobble back. Cobble's my favorite map, but Mirage, just like Dust 2, it's kind of a puggy map if you can find those openings, those gaps, the spaces you can exploit from either side, CT and T. You'll see a lot of middle pushes, A ramp pushes, upper B push, lower B pushes from the CT team. And then side of the terrace, mid control is one of the most pivotal points. So if they can control that, control the CT rotations, things should go quite smoothly for them. But in Benedict's, they're putting up quite the fight.
They're putting up the fight. I mean, Mirage, if you get up your AWPers, if you get that economy building up, especially on your CT side, it's going to be a tough one. I mean, mentioning the mid takes and stuff, it would be nice to see the CT sides showing us how they retake mid, how they move around the map, what they do when the terror side is doing their executes, doing their takes, how they perform and what they have to bring to the table.
And, you know, with this, protocol is quite important for the CTs. I mean, they need to be mulling A ramp early, they need to be mulling upper B early, all those choke points that the Ts are quick to get to, and then just making sure mid-round rotations are on point, using the sound cues to advantage, using that teamwork. And on the terror side, when they take mid control, they're going to be mulling connector, smoke top mid or smoke middle, just to gain themselves access or space so they don't get really killed in those pivotal points. But we've yet to see that, and only time will tell. Only time will tell.
Well, look, I'm seeing as the Parklands boys, last map they were struggling with their rotations on CT side. So when they turn onto the CT side, it would be nice to see if they've had a discussion afterwards, try to see and improve on certain aspects that they weren't necessarily doing so well in the last map, which made them lose those close rounds. I mean, they were taking St. Benedict's very, very close up until a point when they got to the 10-round mark, and then they just kind of stagnated. I mean, you go and you do what St. Benedict's is doing at the moment, and you have to be on point with your rotations, your information.
Agreed. And with the CT side, what you kind of want to be doing is, you know, keeping one side strong and keeping info on the one side with the ability to retake. So playing retake and CT spawn, making sure there's 2 players, there don't be playing con, playing window. You can even put 3 players towards B, 2 holding the side, 1 on cat, and 1 just controlling the information in middle and just sort of shepherding towards where you want to retake and making sure if they do rush B, you're going to win that B rush. If you are stacking A, you're going to win that A stack. But, you know, playing for retake is more important than, you know, trying to hold both sides, because that is kind of hard. There's too many choke points, and, you know, when you run out of utility, which is super important on the CT side, things can get a bit dicey.
I 100% agree with you, Tools. And I mean, with the B bomb site, you can literally stop a full rush and bait out the entire CT's util with 1 or 2 people.
Exactly, just sound cues or a flashbang, and usually they start piling out, emptying all their pockets, and what do you know, you have an easy access towards the B site in the latter end of the round. We're just waiting for a few more players to ready up before we get stuck into this map. St. Benedict's on the CT side, Parklands on the T side, and this is a CT-sided map, so if they can get the ball rolling quite earlier on, it's going to be very hard for Parklands to climb back into this, especially knowing how potent God's not dead with that AWP on the CT side. If they can get around him, blind him off angles, make sure it's not easy for him to land those easy picks, it should be okay. But freeze time is counting down, and let's just see what utility they pick up. I haven't seen a kit being picked up in the pistol round from the CT side in a while. There we go. They blessed me with 1 and a grenade. I'm a big fan of a smoke kit just to be able to smoke defuse towards the end, but the grenade could come into importance if it's being put in the right spot. If they need the right spot, all 5 players heading towards the middle, actually 4 and 1 upper B from Parklands. And the CTs have their stock standard 2-1-3 defense, and middle shots are coming out. God's not dead, being caught in no man's land there in middle, and no one there to support him, so that's the first frag there for Adapt, and the cat player has it down, is trying his best to just shoot that pea shooter, and Jin at least comes in with the trade. Comes in with the kill, but the reload gives the sound cue for Exit to push. He's the bomber, and he gets taken down, and this has become a chaotic round.
Parkland's absolutely losing the ball here on this round as the crossfire from Cat and Connectors coming into play here. Jin and Hazardan doing absolute work in the middle, and you see St. Benedict's take the round.
You need utility on the T side if you want to go into middle, if you want to split towards A or split towards B. You need to either smoke top con or smoke cats and keep your crosshair pushed in the middle and wherever you want to be going, because right there they were stuck between the triangle of doom, I call it, window, cat and middle. It's very hard to pivot and turn and face 3 points, so that essentially cost them that round. They had the opener, so things were going well earlier on. But it seems like they're going to go straight towards the A side, just get the round over and done with no armor, just Glocks, and
Jin
see
with
what they can do.
the overzealous M4 bar. Let's see if he can make it work. Taking down one into the apps center. We see Seaside setting up towards Tetris, one in Palace, absolutely getting mowed down by this M4.
Jim. What's all the kills with an M4? You want to let the MP9s get that money, get that cash. So it's understandable why you didn't get all of them. And I don't mind the M4 bar quite early, but you can't be that aggressive with the M4 if you're going to get it.
Especially not, I mean, when people are picking up Deagles, P250s,
Yeah.
it's very scary if they get up and close with you.
Yeah.
But it looked a bit chaotic from the Parklands side in that round. I mean, Oaks weren't clearing their angles. People were leaving angles out. I don't think they had a bit of an issue with communication in that round. If they just spoke to each other, slowed it down a little bit, they could have done a little bit of damage.
Bomb down, I mean, essentially, if they just committed to that bulk burst with the flash, it was a 2-3 split. But we do have the gun round, my favorite part of Counter-Strike. Coming to this round, God's not dead. Peek up middle, this is absurd, actually. He gets the kill still, but, you know, gun out, sun out, lad. Gun out, sun out.
I mean, seeing such an overzealous and overconfident push and going in backwards, I mean, yes, you're hitting all your shots, but it comes to a point where you're getting a bit overconfident. And I mean, you've lost the AWP, which you could have essentially gotten the pick from connector, sat back, held an angle onto A side, onto B side, and just held that presence and made the terrorists completely scared to push onto a site without
Agreed. And even that situation was still recoverable by him. He was able to just, you know, pre-aim the top mid, get the shot and pre-aim again, because you need to expect more than one player. There we go, KGN picking up another kill there in the middle, and that things are going quite swimmingly for them. 2v4, A side and B side being exposed. The GOAT chimes in with 2 kills of his own. All new does trade him out, and it leaves Prawn all by himself. He had a good performance yesterday, so let's see if he can clutch out this round. He has a Molotov to work with. If he can get this kill, it'll be great for him. No, he just misses out, and this Molotov going to come in big. If he can just swing his blind, no.
Molotov flashback from St. Benedict.
Yeah, if he just pre-aimed that while being sort of half blind, it could have worked out from both players on low HP and that off angle, but all used too strong with that AUG, and that's the first round on the board from Parklands College. Well done by him. They grounded out that round. It was messy as hell, but they found a way through it.
It was very refreshing to see how the Parklands boys set up a bait and switch on that A sites. I mean, getting tagged down to 14 HP, falling completely off to sandwich, just holding the angle, letting your player with a bit more HP play, peek, keep the player on his toes from the CT side. It was just very, very clean from the Parklands boys.
It was splendid. Teamwork makes the dream work, ladies and gentlemen. And now they're reduced to a force by upgraded pistols. The scouts and God's not dead. We have seen him play with that gun. Quite intense with it. Most of the players are stacked up towards that B side. They're kind of baiting out most of the utility from St. Benedict. They just have a smoke left on Prawn. God's not dead, just posting up with it. That skirts old new. Just peek for information in middle.
I mean, Parkland's in a very favorable position. I mean, they have the util advantage. They can essentially flash out angles, smoke off some angles, get into the bomb site, start making some chaos on the bomb site. St. Benedict's need to kind of look for a kill here, try and get an advantage somehow.
Oh, Jin. KNG picking up Cat, picking himself a nice kill there, and Jin. And it's down to Hazard Dam. KNG picking up a kill there. Nice. If you can just survive a bit longer, work off other teammates, things could work out for him. Gets out of dodge. Abuses all the timings that the utility usage is coming in from. The Molly's going to just keep him at bay. And decisions need to be made. I mean, the scouts taking them down, Chili down onto 28 HP.
I mean, something nice to notice is you have the Cat player that's deep, and you can hear everything that's going on. All the sound cues that Parklands is giving up, and you can see the rotations coming out from the CTs coming in early. Parklands are going to run into a bombarded side. Prawn getting the first Deagle kill onto Old New. Here we see the Terror starting to bombard. Gets a second kill onto Adapt. Third kill onto Chili. Here we see a 1, and God's not dead. Helps Prawn out by getting the trade and getting rid of Exalt on the B-bomb side.
He did more than he needed to do there. Picking up 4 kills, even tagging down the 5th player, which is kind of absurd. And again, you mentioned it earlier about the sound cues. I mean, the Cat player just hearing everything, going to run all the way low as upper B, and it's, yeah, it was easy to read.
Just that awareness that these boys haven't really developed yet. But it's nice to see because they can go back and they can see these type of things and improve their gameplay when leading up to coming into the Masters. That type of thing that they compete with the players.
Oh, man. Very close spray down there from God's Not Dead. But the eco round, no armor, they're super squishy. Yeah, if they can just, you know, work on the demos that you watch this game, you can understand, okay, if I call sound cues in lower B running all the way to B, it's going to be pretty obvious there's going to be a stack there. So if they can just limit those small little mistakes and nitty-gritty errors,
100%.
they'll get better for sure. Because the aim, I wouldn't say the aim's up to scratch, but the aim is there. You can see they're hitting the shots. I mean, God's Not Dead isn't bad at all. I mean, he's hitting all the nice flicks with that AWP. Old New doing quite a lot there in the previous game, and now, you know, trying his best this game. KGN, exit, adapts. Quite a evenly distributed scoreline there between those players, as well as on the St. Benedict side, just one player sitting on 1 kill and 0 in Chile, potentially going for 007. But majority of the attacking team is leaning towards that A side. They have utility to do any smoke exec if they really want to. They're going to take time. They're going to bail out resources from St. Benedict's.
I mean, we can see that they're probably going to lead up to a full ASR execute here. As you were saying, the St. Benedict's boys are not really looking for information. They're kind of sitting comfy with the 3-round lead, so they're just trying to hold it passive, use their anti-util, as you can see, coming in now as the terrorists try to execute on the ASR.
Oh, man, this is so dicey. This is a chaotic situation, but it's in favor of Parklands. So that's the first kill. They're exactly where Jin is, and he's going to pivot and turn and try to get himself out of dodge there. The rotations are right hot in there. He's sold down to the rotations. Hazadan picks up the first kill there, rotating from B. Nice kill from him. They can just contain them into the side, bombard them with utility, force them out into positions where they're exposed to the AWP sitting there in CT spawn. There's a player sitting by a new box there. They have no utility to flush them out, actually, so sold down to the shots here. Prawn, God's Not Dead, coming to the party, and Chile, I don't know what he was doing, doubling back. He wanted to get out of there, he wanted to stay in, locked in, and it's potentially the first round. The bomb is down, actually. So that's probably why he wanted to double back to middle, but Prawn getting 3 kills there on the retake. Big work from him, big work.
No, look, on the post plan for Parklands, they started off very well. They weren't peaking, they kept the man advantage, and then Prawn just absolutely the can opener of that retake on that bomb side, just getting the first pick, then forcing the other terrorist player to try and repeat, get the trade on him. It just fell into place for the St. Benedict's boys, getting that 2v or 3v4 out of the way, putting another round onto the board.
Agreed.
I mean, we can see the St. Benedict's boys, they're not really playing too aggressive. They like sitting back, keeping their own advantage, letting Parklands sweat it out a little bit on the T side, seeing what the boys can actually bring to the table from Parklands. I mean, they're testing out all of their strats. They're giving them the respect for them to move around the map. I mean, they're not getting aggressive up mid. They're not pushing out B apps, getting the information on CT side, which gives the terrorists a lot of room to work with.
Agreed, and if you're not finding information, you're losing space, you're losing control, and the first kill there by Chile picks up a double, in fact, and that's the A side wide open. The rotations are so far away. The bomb should go down any minute now, but God's Not Dead is rotating just in time. Absolutely pick off a kill there on the side. There's a gap with that smoke there. Made workout. Prawn again barreling in from their B side there, trying to help out the team. God's Not Dead isn't really aware of the position of Chile, and that's 3 kills from him. KNG down to 10 HP. Was the distraction for Chile to finish off, and that's a great round from him thus far. And that's the second round on the board from Parklands. Just to complement that a little, the economy on St. Benedict's is in the bins.
I mean, we can see Prawn picking up the slack from his last game. I mean, him picking up all of those impact kills last game. The man is starting to come alive now in this game, and he's showing the Parklands boys, like, come here, come to my side. Let me show you what I've got. He's here to play. And you can see that by how he's been setting his team up, how he uses his util, how he holds onto his util on that B bomb site. It's good to see.
Oh, Adapt picking up a kill there in the pen. God's Not Dead overextending in Chile. They're going to just carry on this round's performance, and Jin, he has an to work with here, and giving him so much space to just reposition from now and then. The Smolly is going to be so big right now, it's going to just segregate the base. He can just land this headshot, which he does, and stay alive a little longer for the rotation to come in. We do see a lurker in the middle, and the B-side play isn't moving. It surely has to be called out, but the bomb is doubling back. The bomb is doubling back, so this is okay. Oh, this nade is working out. I thought he was going to double back. I thought he was going to get back to CT spawn, Jin. He tried his best, though. He tried his best.
As you can see, Prawn trying to double back through to Sniper's side in jungle. He wins the duel.
Dan, but does he expect the second player there, the bomber, in fact, to come from Con? No, he doesn't, but he does read it. Oh, man.
This is the angle.
It is the angle.
He gets legged. KGN getting the pick. Does he know that Prawn's behind triple? Prawn's only on 13.
Plenty time to double back towards that B side. But he's going to
fake
him out. Versus an AUG, a SIG. That's too easy for Prawn. He doesn't miss those.
Prawn will not move off of that side. He will sit there until he's blue in the face.
Exactly. KGN kind of outplaying himself there. He kind of knew where the second player was. He just ran B, but I do understand that if he ran the long way, the rotation could have been there in time from Prawn if he really, really wanted to. But yeah, was the call out that he was low?
I mean,
did he leg Prawn?
I mean, you don't really know. I mean, Prawn picking up the 1 kill onto A site, he was called that he was behind triple because he didn't move from that position. KGN or whoever it was literally just there. He held the angle well, he played well. When he got that leg, I mean, he got the second shot follow up.
Agreed. And God's Not Dead, so aggressive as ever. Just, you know, oh man, why did he move off the A site? And he didn't need to do anything but chill after that entry frag from God's Not Dead. Better puts them back into a 4v4 even Stevens. Parklands will be very happy with that.
I mean, the CT side is really controlling this mid area for the terrorists, making it hard for them to get that control. I mean, you have God's Not Dead that peaks mid window, you have a connector peak, and you have a cat peak, and they rotate it, so you never really know where the AWP is going to be peaking from when God's Not Dead has his AWP up. But with that being said, I mean, last game, he had 22 kills, 45% headshot ratio, so it's not like he just can only use an AWP. I mean, even with a rifle, this man is potent.
Agreed, and trouble is coming his way. 3 players sitting in middle, taking their time, ever so cautious. God's Not Dead. He's going to prod and probe for information. Does a spot play and lowers. Doesn't get that kill. Assuming that player was dead a bit too soon. Is a good heads up play on him. Just being aware that there's a potential trade coming in. And Hazard Dan missing out on the frag there, missing out on the dink potentially. With that farmers, God's Not Dead is in low HP, so he doesn't want to find any contact anytime soon.
Only 14 seconds left on the board. I think Parklands are looking to save for this round. Oh no, they're not. They're trying to push up. They
Still don't think there'll be enough time. Looking at the player upper B, Prawn should be able to slow down the plants or discourage them in some way. There we go. That's the kill coming out from him. The bomb down straight after that. One more player in sight. He's got to look for him, but there was no time. Got it too late. Too late.
Prawn living up to his name, being sneaky there on BF.
Exactly.
I mean, it would be nice to see Prawn taking a bit of initiative, pushing out that B bomb site, getting that info so they can stack that mid and stack that A bomb site because Parklands aren't really putting presence towards B. But here we can see the CTs moving into their normal generic setup. We have 1B, 2 pushing up mid, going for the mid aggression here. Also getting aggressive towards A, ramp positioning, and they fall off on A. They're going for the mid pick. KGN takes out Hazedan.
But they're always going for this mid aggression. I don't understand it.
Also, with the mid-aggression, you need those flashbangs coming out from your teammates. You need to get those terrorists blind, or else you're just going to run into an absolute shooting range.
Exactly, and at least Jin's able to step up a little as well as God's Not Dead, 4v3.
There's that low HP situation again. 6 HP, you have an AWP, it's a one-shot kill. Beat me if you want to, I dare you. That's God's Not Dead's attitude right now. I mean, the man's putting up big numbers.
Agreed, Prawn. I mean, Adapt picking up a kill there in the goats, leaving it down to a 2v2. God's Not Dead needs to just even out the odds. He's on low HP, so he doesn't want to overextend a bit too much there. Prawn needs to be the player doing all the work. He's sitting on Cat, so he does have that covered. No, he's going to miss out on the timing in terms of the angle. He wants to clear out ladder room, which is fair enough. Make sure no one's there. God's Not Dead. Flick of the wrist. And Adapt. He's going to pick up a cheeky Prawn there and double back, but the bomb's in such a crazy again.
Parklands have this habit of just losing the bomb in such bad predicaments that it puts them in a situation where they're just going to struggle. But I mean, I think God's Not Dead is prepared for this full-on rotation. If he knows that this terrorist is coming from T side, if he makes too much noise, God's Not Dead is going to hear him. And I mean, he's not slowing down, he's running.
Oh, he's still not aware. He still hasn't heard the sound cues. But it should come out anytime soon now. Is he in a no-scope? He's being very patient with the shot. Hello? Oh, I don't understand this.
Oh,
I don't understand this at all.
God's Not Dead.
It blows my mind.
He gets legged. Will Adapt win this 1v1 fight? He's got the SG in hand with God's Not Dead on the AWP.
I am truly flabbergasted with what just happened. Or what's happening right now.
Look,
Quantum, you take over, man.
The player that
Despite
came
winning
out,
the clutch, it's still senseless play.
The player that came out of God's Not Dead, it was the right thing to do. He had the patience in sets. He was right, but leaving the player to smoke and go for the plant, when you have an AWP, it's a one-shot weapon. Majority of the time, it's very rare that you hit that shot through the smoke.
Exactly, and the bomb goes down, so that basically gives each player $800 on Parkland's side, allowing them to buy anything and everything they want. It would have been short in the utility here and there. And I guess, yeah, that is hindsight speaking. He didn't want to give away a sound cue, missed the shot, and I get it. It's kind of a nerve-wracking situation to be in, but you got to take your chances when they come like that. And Chile out doing God's Not Dead is aware of he's played that angle a few more times than the usual. So good as that play on him. Goat's going to go get that AWP, but right now has it done. Flashing himself off, Cat can't really support anyone there. And they've lost the middle. They have to forfeit middle and attack somewhere else. Maybe a double A ramp push or up a B push, but something.
I have to take control somewhere. I mean, pushing an A ramp, pushing a palace. It's what the CTs need to be doing, but they seem to be falling off into a crossfire position with jungle and CT, which isn't very favorable for the CT side. I mean, if the GOAT gets picked off here, there's no one there to trade him out, and then they're going to get a two-man down advantage to the T side. I mean, this could go any way as long as Parklands play it correctly. They clear their angles, they make sure they're using it until they flash peeking. Here we see it, Adapt picking up the GOAT. No one there to trade him out, but Prawn at a sneaky position again, watching the side pushing the jungle. He picks up KGN. Will there be any more players coming into this angle for Prawn? And Prawn's falling off back onto B sides as they take it with Bomb.
And as you can see, that Jin is running straight into window. I don't think he's aware of anyone being in there, although should definitely have come in that there was a player there boosted. Some people will come out. Lovely no scope by him. 2v1, and it is clutchable, it is winnable, but he has to find 2 more players.
And here we see the terrorists both in post plant holding their angle.
Definitely would have wanted that shot there, and they're not going to give it to him anymore. They're not going to overextend.
And we have Chile holding this window angle. I'm not sure if Jin will be able to peek it.
Yeah, he's going to get out of there and save for another day. It's the smarter choice to make. I mean, looking at the economy, you kind of need to be doing things like that. Get the kit, lad.
100%, you can make plays. I mean, you can do something where you put the AWP posted in mid, send 2 players up on the quasi bar with pistols, try and do some damage, and then when they peek into the AWP thinking, oh no, it's going to be a pistol save or whatever the case is, if he makes it out of the round. Unfortunately, Jin does not make it out of the round, so what I was busy stating on doesn't have any relevance here.
Like substance at this point.
I mean,
and yeah, I guess this is the comeback for Parklands. They've actually reduced them to barely nothing. God's Not Dead once again on the AWP. He's quite relentless, and they're going to force buy straight into this. Yep, they have to double save anyway, so why not fight this round? Why not fight to keep the lead?
Oh, we see God's Not Dead actually missing a shot, which isn't actually too common in this series that we've seen so far.
And for me, it's down to confidence. When you're lacking a bit of confidence, you don't really go for those usual plays that you normally go for, and it shows kind of, Jin deleting Chile off the map.
Player that has absolutely been underlooked. I mean, I saw his headshot ratio and percentage. He's sitting on 66% headshot ratio. Like, yes, he's not hitting the hard numbers in terms of his score, but this man is getting the impact. He's staying alive. He's letting his teammates
and go double off, picking up 2 kills of their own. KGN trying to stop the bleed. There's just too many numbers around. They're surrounded right now. He's stuck in the palace. No options left for him at this point in time.
To CT side, absolutely just cleaning house for Parklands. You can see that
reset.
Super reset for the T side. I mean, they're struggling to keep their economy intact because they're not going. They know that they're going to go towards A. They're not showing any presence towards B on the T side.
6 round apart between these 2 teams. It is the CT sided map, so things are looking quite normal. The window jump doesn't really pay off. God's Not Dead. How was he aware of that? I guess he was protecting Hazardan, was pushing up middle, so good teamwork coming out of those 2 players.
That comes into what I was saying for the mid push, but I see we're going to go into an A-side take here with Chile being in T-Apps, Exalt already up on Sandwich, but we have a player in Shadow. Jin getting the pick onto T-Ramp. There's only a Tetris player and Palace player left. Chile trying to desperately get that spam onto the player under Shadow. KGN picking up the goats and Jin finishing off Chile. KGN left in a 1v3 situation. We have God's Not Dead on an AWP, Prawn on the SG, and God's Not Dead gets absolutely deleted by KGN on that, it says angle. Here we have Prawn with another AWP, and Prawn finishes off the round with a headshot kill onto KGN, just ripping the man's heads from his shoulder.
I mean, valiant attempt by KGN. He did his best to recover that situation. Lovely pre-aiming from him, good awareness of angles, but it wasn't enough.
Look, Parklands, I mean, you can't really do much in terms of if your economy is so struggling, which St. Benedict's, it kind of seems like, do you think that they would be planning it? Do you think they would be like, no, let's give them these rounds, let's reset their economy, let's make it harder for them, let's actually make them not have guns in the round, because it seems like they're doing that.
Yeah, it does seem like that, but I'm not too sure if they're aware of what they're doing. And it is paying off. I guess when they watch the demos, time will tell. But the B rush is coming in right now. He's blind, has no damage. God's is there. Right time, right place. Prawn is missing his shots, and he kind of needs to land. His guns are getting closer and closer to his
And he gets the one
lovely
tap.
swing headshot by him, but Chile trades him out on this lovely grenade just to do a bit of damage into the bomb plant. No, the curb blocks that. How? How does the curb that?
No, the curve just saying no to that grenade going in onto the bomb site, going to bring
look at
down
this
Old New onto half HP.
Double up a B push, 1v1, and the God's not dead. I mean, that's child's play from him. Hits that every day of the week. Those breakfast.
God's not dead, just super consistent
What
with
kills
this
he's
clutch
sitting on right now?
situation.
18.
In
Plus
one half, he's literally picked up so many rounds and so many kills for his team in terms of impact frags, in terms of just stopping the terror side completely. Because as soon as they see God's not dead is at a certain angle, they kind of just stagnate and start panicking.
Exactly, and we could see that and reflected in terms of the upper B push there, the double upper B push. I thought that will actually work out, but it didn't. But there we go, God's not dead. Picking up the slap from the rest of the team, double nade into A ramp. Pretty planned, and it was nicely executed, to be honest.
Also a situation where you look at it from, if the terrorists were using their flashbangs correctly and flashing God's not dead off of these angles, he wouldn't have all of that free space to do what he's doing.
And the auto sniper comes out, that's Jenner's going to carry on the Palafan. The second kill, his team naded him.
Oh no, God's not dead, absolutely just pokeballing Jin, wanting to catch them all out there. But anyway, we see Parklands on a 2v4 situation. I'm not sure why that would be adapt, absolutely making me eat my words by just deleting Hazadan off of the map. He knows that there's a player over to stairs side. As we see the flank coming in here from the GOAT, I don't think they're aware of this this aggressive flank coming in from the CT side. I mean, yeah, he's going to catch off adapt. There goes the round.
Yeah, that's why it's important to run a default. Otherwise, you're flying in blind towards the A sides. There's so many blind spots you have to cover, and if you're losing numbers left, right, and center, it becomes harder and harder. The mountain gets steeper and steeper. But 12 rounds on the board for St. Benedict's and 3 for Parklands College. It is a CT-sided map, but I'm afraid the pistol round hangs in the balance here.
I think if the T side managed to string this pistol round together, they will more than likely pick up the next 2 rounds. But then again, saying that the next round after a pistol round is one of the most one-round games or rounds in the game. But here we can see what Parklands have to offer, because this round for them is actually very crucial for them to claw their way back into this map.
And it looks like they're going for the stock standard A side execute, stays jungle. They're going to try push into CT and take KG Natsu. He has some tasks on his hands to deal with. They haven't spotted him out. Shots haven't landed just yet, and he's getting overwhelmed now by numbers. Corn picking up a play, actually in by Gap. Hazadan doing the Lord's work, picking up 2 kills there, potentially a third. No,
Old New doing work in CT side, as we see him trying to beat towards the CT side players, that the terrorists are profusely refusing to let him into the sides. Hazadan dropping down, and here we see Prawn on an off angle. Will he spot him out on this angle? He does not. Prawn taking down Old New. Adapt taking down a 1v2 situation, going into a 1v1. We have God's Not Dead on T-ramp. He goes for the defuse fake. God's Not Dead not falling for it, just throwing in the shoulder, and God's Not Dead absolutely ending the round off in a clinical fashion.
And it's a perfect way to clutch that around. I mean, 1v1, you just want to show your shoulder just to retain information that he's not defusing the bomb, but when he is defusing the bomb,
what can you do? I mean, you need to show him some sort of thing, because majority of the time your CT side will actually go and fake out a bomb defuse sound, which will pull you out so they can get that cheeky one tap onto you. So it was good situational awareness from God's Not Dead in that situation.
Indeed, and you know, no kit, no glory, I would say. Quick cat push coming out of him, still has speed to 50 in hand, creating so much space, getting all the information, just relaying it back to his teammates. That B cat is open for business. Hazadan picking up the first kill there, Goat, getting a second on himself there in connector. And all it does is just unsettles them a little.
This is just feeding their economy again, like stated in the first map. I mean, they should have literally just taken their guns and just run away with it, essentially. Stop giving the terrorists so much economy to work with, because they're going to come and get in your face.
Look at this. A little Prawn there in the corner, but it's not the real Prawn.
Closing off the round. I mean, what can you really do on a headshot angle with a P250?
I mean, at least they can mount up a bar this round.
I mean, St. Benedict showing absolute dominance in this map, showing why they came to play at this event. One of the favorable teams to actually take it to the final, showing why they are here to play.
Exactly. I mean, the only real contest they had was yesterday in that double OT. This Paul, but Cat Utsil is out. Molly Con and a fast B split coming out from St. Benedict and Superman Max in the face, but look at that upper B hold. And it's the right way to do it. Smoke up a B and just hold Cat, and it becomes a one-dimensional attack, and Holton Hughes doing all the work there.
It shows you that, speaking from experience in terms of old new, playing face-hits and that type of thing, you get those situational awarenesses. You understand that if you're in B apps and your terrorists are pushing up that Cat, you can push in, cut off that split that's happening onto your B-bomb side and help the defense. Because when you get split on that B-bomb side, it is ridiculously difficult to stop and defend.
Agreed, and at the same time, Mac 10s versus M4s, not really a favorable duel, but shows.
We can see if God's Not Dead can put the younger brother of the AWP to work here. Trying to find some tags in mid. He already tagged Dap down to 31 HP, trying to find the critical tag on Result or Chili, which is on Catwalk. You see them working on the A-bomb site. We have the bomb towards T-Ramp and Tetris. One player towards Palisade.
They're getting a second. No, Kenji and Exalt coming with 2 kills of their own. They've deleted the player's middle and coming out of A-Ramp. And yeah, one by one they fall like dominoes. And the one man that's blood has it down. Can't do much himself. And
very crucial round for Parklands College. I mean, Clinical stayed back, didn't let the terrorists work that scouts. They didn't let them get close range with the pistols. It was very, very good in terms of their situational awareness on the CT side.
But the bar does come out. Gun rounds are favorite rounds. Everybody has all the util that they want and all the weaponry that they require.
Here we're going to see the brains of the operation coming into play as we move over to the B-bomb site with all 5 players actually going towards you. They don't even care for showing presence towards the other side of the map. So they decide, no, let's just stick together as 5. We've been out aiming these boys the whole match. Let's just take them on an aim.
But look at these erratic rotations from Parklands. There's no one anchoring the A side. You can see them jumping back and forth. They're just not there yet, but the upper B hold is so strong from old, new, deletes all 3 players, potentially a 4th. The goat eventually trades them out, but that's all the information that they require. The last 2 players are upper B. So how do they hold this? Do they actually get into the sides? Because they need to get the bomb plant down, adapt, coming with that AWP, holding those long angles, which it always is going to favor. Majority of the times, that is.
I agree. We hear that we see the GOAT in a 1v4 situation. You can't really do much when you have KGN in a position like that on mid. You have 2 AWPs holding out your lowers and your B apps push. I mean, he's going to push down here into this AWPer, and he's more than likely, if he hits a shot, Exalt hitting the shot onto the GOAT, not being aware of the player with an AWP being in lowers.
Agreed, and the result of this round is just due to them not being able to trade quite efficiently in upper B. 3 players going down to 1, spacing and trading wasn't really there for them, so they need to just tighten up on that end. Coming into this next round, they don't have much utility or guns to work with, so it's going to be a bit of tougher task for them, but we have seen them in these rounds.
I agree with you 100%.
Scouting God's Not Dead once again.
You can see the CT sides are taking a bit of a more conservative approach to this, getting the early pick off in the round, falling off, literally playing for retakes with the double setup, holding the long angles, forcing the terrorists to use their util on sites. It's good that they understand that they can do this type of thing on this map. KGN getting the pick onto Catwalk. We have 2 more players pushing up Cat.
Indeed, 3 in fact. Just looking at the rotations coming in. All swarming towards the middle. I know the last 2 players are here, and it's just a matter of time before they all get put down. I mean, Prawn, he's just tucking with an ump. I don't know how he wins that frag with an M4, but Kenji is able to end off the round there. That's now 7 rounds in the ball. They're halfway there. Yeah,
they're slowly clawing their way back here. I mean, T-side, their economy is dwindling a bit. You see the P90 pickup coming out of Jin. SGs, AKs coming across the board. Against the double AWP setup and AUG, 2 M4s, you're going to have an issue if you're not flashing your players off, and that's what we're going to see now. If St. Benedict has that experience to understand that they need to be flashing them off, not allowing the AWPers to do what Parklands allowed the God's Not Dead to do.
Indeed, as we see a fast mid-take here, just bottom con smoke just to slow down the push from St. Benedict. A lot of ruckus happening in middle. And the utility is fading, the window smoke has dissipated, and Exalt is just waiting for his turn to peek, waiting for this opportunity to get a free frag there. The flash does deter him from it, but for how long?
Jin in that sneaky ladder position. I don't think they understand that he's in there from a sniper's point of view. They could be aware of it, but if Exalt tries to peek out too far, they could probably get an angle on him from the Windows room.
They should have an inkling that there was a player in window. I mean, they were pumping a lot of utility in there, which does suggest that. But the majority of the attack is up a B. It does look like a B split nonetheless. Goat is me the first player spotted. He doesn't want to get seen too early and give away that the B push is coming in. It does, and the Mac 10 Jin has to come out cat and just support the players from upper B, just make it the two-dimensional attack, and it all comes down to this entry frag here. I don't know how he's surviving in that corner there. The crossfire is too strong for Benedict at the moment. There we go, the Mac 10. I mean, the AK coming in from an angle, and it's the B side wide open. 3 players just doing that. This bomb's in such a peculiar place. It does go down eventually, but look at the HP. Adapt. Kobe's prone to his death. And they have time to work with. The bomb just went down, and TK from God's Not Dead. How could you? He's your friend, he's your teammate. It is planted for Cat. Oh, man.
Hitting an absolute banger of a shot, making it into a 1v1 situation.
It's still winnable if he's just smart enough to use. There we go, the smoke and the bomb. Tap it, move to the left of the side. Oh, it's a flash. Oh dear, here's a scroll. There we go, that's what he wanted. He's going to flash defuse. And he's at an angle, so I do think it's going to be quite tough. Tappity tap.
Not dead, knows the angle though.
Yeah, he's been in those situations so many times to let it fail.
Well, match point 15-7. I mean, this is the time where Parklands need to get their ducks in a row. They need to stop these attacks coming out from the T side. They need to stop the overconfident peeking coming in from St. Benedict's. They need to start humbling these boys in order to claw their way back to a 15-15, maybe take it into an overtime situation.
Agreed, but this is match point at the moment, and God's Not Dead. White Peak's middle. At least they'd have to window potentially his last round, gets a second kill, and he's taking over this round. One-man show at the moment. Chile looking for a little gap there in the smoke to abuse, but
taking out 2.
Oh, man, lively fix, and that's how you stop the bleed. That's how you plug the hole.
Very well played coming in
2v3.
from Exalt. Picking up 2 crucial frags for his team, making it into a 2v3 situation, giving them a man-up advantage here in the 15th or 23rd round, sorry. None of the players know what's happening towards B side. They've already pushed Chile through, so they think B's clean, but we can see slowly as St. Benedict's are creeping their way onto this free B bomb site. No awareness from the CT side whatsoever.
I mean, not only will they get the bomb plant, they'll be able to position themselves in the perfect post plants. It all comes down to how these players interact together. There's a player in T-spawn, he's taking the long route, and the rest of the players are coming from CT spawn. And Goat, just see what position he's sitting in right now. He's sitting in Cat, but it's not planted for Cat, so a bit confusing from him. Player sitting at Van. And they need to net the first kill in this retake. There we go, Exalt. Trying to get that frag with an AWP. They don't know where the second player is, and it's found out by Chile. Deletes him by Van. 1v3, too many man.
Very clean from Parklands. I mean, the right situation, or in terms of my perception of it, would have been to double peak something. Try and get that man advantage back in your favor. Get it equal. Make sure that you can sit in a crossfire so you guys are helping each other out. Going towards Cat when it's not even planted.
Yeah, take kitchen. Yeah, I mean, that's the best idea. Place one in kitchen and put one on the side by broken, etc. So the player kitchen can at least get early info and then fall back and set up another point of attack.
Going into the 24th round, we see the T side not really much util and guns or firepower coming in, but with God's Not Dead, the Goats, and Hazard having quite a bit of firepower in terms of Mac 10s and the Scouts, you can do quite a bit of damage with that loadout.
Exactly.
You can see what they'll be able to pull out of the hatcher.
Oh man, they used... I wish they would use those flashbangs, one over the wall and one off the windowsill, just to give them some space to work with. God's Not Dead, scouting in the middle, making himself quite a nuisance. Does get a tag, and they should go in this reload. That should be the cue. That should be the play that activates it all. And the flash does come in. He's super blind. They re-aim him, but he's still alive, still standing strong. But eventually takes him out, and they want to get a bomb plant at the very least. The bomb, unfortunately, it's going to work out for him. Upgrades into an M4, the player on Cat is low, and Exalt is there at the right time, the right place to close off the round. That's 9 rounds on the board. Potentially the start of their comeback. They've strung 2 rounds together at the very least.
Very well played from Chile. I mean, he started putting down damage. He knew that the player knew he was going to go and pick up another rifle, try and challenge him, get that 1v1 situation in his favor. But he knew that his teammate was rotating into kitchen, holding that cross angle, and he literally just played it out patient.
Agreed. And they're going to what works
the
earlier on. The good old faithful eggs there.
The OGA exec with the smokes onto stairs, jungle and CT.
Exactly, and the shotgun, yes, if they flash him off, he becomes nullified. He's quite redundant in a round like this, but the flashes aren't effective. They are, but he's pre-aimed by God's Not Dead. Way aware, too aware for such a position like that. And the rest of the team, they're going to push stairs. God's Not Dead is again taking things into his own hands. Bomb will go down eventually, and the smokes are still up to quite a layer of protection there. Don't push CT spawn, lad. I thought he was about to push that smoke, but he realized it's dissipating. They're boosting on stage. The sound cues are out that they are boosting. Oh, lands the spray transfer. One more player sitting in such a dodgy area, and one man left alive. The only man left alive on this side. And that's 16-9. That's the game. St. Benedict's too strong.
Very well played from the St. Benedict side.
Too strong.
Very clinical. Very, very clean CS coming out from the St. Benedict's boys. Parklands, they just got their mistakes were very much well exploited by St. Benedict's.
And very evident, and just looking at the way the CT's rotations were, how some of the rounds, some of the players just weren't playing CT's more, how they just weren't covering that A side, they weren't getting information to relate to the teammates to get a proper rotation at the end of the day. And the main theme of the story is God's Not Dead and Prawn, the two-man duo, always carrying the team, always netting those frags, important frags at that. We saw the last round, he took things into his own hands, and unfortunately, you need to match that on the side of Parklands. You need someone who can do that. You need a duo who can do that. And unfortunately, looking at the scoreboard, KGN, Old News, they tried their best, but it wasn't enough.
I agree, but look, side of Parklands, I mean, the score difference isn't that much of a big gap. It just came down to,
I mean, how many clutch rounds were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and most of them were won by obviously St. Benedict. Looking at the scoreboard, so if those rounds did change, it's a complete different story, and the rounds don't really reflect the true story of the game. I mean, the scoreboard.
You can see it came down to the individual player experience. You have Prawn, God's Not Dead on St. Benedict's side. Jin as well. Very, very, very good performance from his side. He was hitting heads. He was getting the impact frags. He was flashing his teammates out. He was doing the donkey work in the team.
You got KD.
Got KD as well. Parklands, Old New KGN, mentioned at the start of the 3-part series. And you can see, putting in the time that they do, getting good numbers on the board. Chili as well, getting impact frags with the AWP, making sure he's doing work. But at the end of the day, it came down to the synergy within the team, and St. Benedict's were better on the day.
Agreed. Not just yesterday, but today as well. This is the last day, guys. Do stay tuned for the final coming up shortly. Catch you soon.